Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Well, this video is part of a course that I recorded some time ago, actually a long time ago, but it's still up to date. And I will gradually post the content here in the channel. So the first thing I'd like to ask you is to subscribe. You notice that I also have some other videos that are very interesting. So if you want to learn more about Qlik, check it out. And it will also help me grow the channel, which is something I want to do. You'll notice that this video doesn't have the best quality of audio. At the time, I was not using a mic, but it's not that bad too. If you want, you can also add the subtitles. They are available, and even translate to your own language if that's the case. I hope you like the content, and if you do, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.
In this first video, let's talk about the Qlik Associative Engine, which is one of the things that differs Qlik the most from other competitors. And to find this page, you can go to Google and type Qlik Associative Model or Engine, and you find this page to explore some of the functionalities. If we scroll down here, we'll see that Qlik is comparing query-based tools with its associative model. So when we talk about query-based tools, we are looking at partial subsets of data and restricted linear exploration. So when we query the data, we can't see the entire picture. There's also the comparison about the performance and this tunnel vision. When we talk about Qlik Associative Engine, we can see all the data and explore everything without boundaries. And Qlik is extremely fast, and with that we can find unexpected insights due to the way the fields and tables are connected. Let's scroll down again to see the interactive demo. Let's skip here this introduction and go to this association basics. Let's follow the instructions here to see and understand how Qlik works. So if we select a movie here, for example, so if I select Forrest Gump, I can see with the green color what I selected. I can apply the selection here, confirming the selection, or cancel the selection. In light gray, in this field, we have the fields that can also be selected. And now in the actors field, I can see here in white the two actors that were part of the Forrest Gump movie. And in dark gray, the other actors that are not related to my selection. Now let's click here to see the power of gray. Following the instructions, I will select here animation. As I mentioned here in this gender field, I could also select other genders, and in the other fields, Qlik is not only showing the values related to our selections, but also unrelated values in dark gray. Now, if here in the other field, in the title, I select Finding Dory, I will be able to see that Finding Dory is also grouped inside the comedy and family categories. If I scroll down, I can see the comparison with the query-based tools. And here in this case, we would not be able to see that Finding Dory is inside these other categories. Now let's click here to see the global context. This is an example of a dashboard, so I will click here and select a movie gender. I will click in action. All the other charts will respond to my selection. Now I will click again in another chart to select a director, clicking here. And again, the other charts were also updated. So just reading here the box, with each click, dig deeper to understand the whole story across all analytics. So with that, we can apply selections much easier and see the results in other charts. Now click here in all your data. And this is an interesting example. We have the comparison between Qlik and query-based tools with the same data. And on the left, we can see that we have a higher value because this value here, even though it's not associated or related to any gender, it still exists, and Qlik shows us that it exists. We'll understand that better in a second, but on the right, when we talk about query-based tools, in this case, we can't see this kind of inconsistency. And now clicking next, another interesting point is the search option. So we can use a smart search to search the entire data model. So if we type here, as we can see in the example, any word in this search, in the smart search, Qlik will look for the word in all the fields. And with that, we can make selections and explore everything much easier. Now I want to show you an example of how Qlik associates the tables and fields, and you'll learn more about that in other videos. But to start, let's use this simple example. So we have two tabs here. The first one with the market data, with country and region and the potential market value. And the other tab has the country and sales value with the manager and gender. Let's upload this in Qlik. And for that, I have an app created. And I will just drop my table in here. Qlik will automatically identify the tabs. I have here the first tab with the market data, the 3 columns, and I will select the sales tab as well. So clicking here, now I will import these 2. I will click in next. And these 2 bubbles represent the tables. So the market data has these columns and the sales data, these other columns. The common field between these 2 is the country column. If I drag this table on top of the other, with this orange color, Qlik is showing me that we have some kind of similarity between the columns. I will just drop it in here, like this. And now Qlik is showing me that it created an association with the country field. And in this case, the association is not perfect because not all countries from this table are also found in the other table. Now I will click here in Load Data. And now I'll click in Go to Sheet. To talk about the Associative Engine, I will create some filters by clicking on this Edit mode. Bring the filter pane in here and add my dimensions, which in this case, I can see here in the fields. I will bring the country column, the region, the manager, and gender. I will also drag down here the potential market value. So Qlik automatically created a KPI with the sum of the potential market column, and I will do the same with the sales value. Now I'll click here in Done Editing. Just like we saw in the example, if I click here in Manager and select one of them, for example, this second one, I can see that this guy is related to China, and China is in Asia, and he is in the gender male. The light gray shows me that I can select another person from this field. So I will click here. And as I clicked, France and Europe were also enabled in these other fields. And same thing here with the female gender. Notice that the values down here were also changed. So if I click again here, now I unselected Audra. And if I click again in Carl, I will unselect him again. If I select some region, Asia for example, I can see here in the country field the 3 countries related to it. And I can see that I have 2 managers related to Asia. But we have 3 countries and only 2 managers. And now it's an important point because if we look at these tables, notice that, let me just bring this to the other page. So not all countries in this market table are also found in the sales table. For example, we don't have sales in India. And we also don't have a manager there. So what happens with these values when we are looking at this entire picture? Let me show you. If we go back here and select the gender male and female, we'll see that the sum of the potential market has changed. This is because the entire potential market of that table is 941,000. But when we look at female and male options that are related to these fields, we only have 518,000. And again, this is happening because we are filtering the gender, and we only know the genders of these managers that are related to these countries, and the relation that we have is the country field. So we are looking at the gender, but we only know the gender of these countries here, which in this case are these ones. We don't have any gender related to United States, Canada, South Africa, and India. So this value here adds up to 423,000. And now notice something very interesting. If we go back, now I can select these countries here because they are the possible countries. Or if we prefer, we can come here in the magnifying glass, click on these 3 dots, and select the possible selections. Now I have the 6 countries. I will clear the selection, click here on the top, click again on the 3 dots, and now I will select the alternative values. Now we just found the 423,000 that we are looking for. And the same thing goes if we create a chart with that. So let me show you an example. Let me just extend the sheet to put a chart in here. If I create a bar chart with the countries here and sum the potential market, we have the values for all the countries. However, if we do the same thing with the managers, we don't have the managers associated to all these countries. So let's do the same thing. The dimension will be the manager, and the measure will be the potential market. Notice that we have this record, this null value, and this value is 423,000. And this is happening because we don't have any manager associated to this potential market, but it exists. We have the option to remove it from the chart by clicking here in include null values, and we would remove this option, or we can just leave it like that. But my intention here is to show you that Qlik enables us to see the entire picture even when we don't have associated values with all these records.